Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Pokemon Go presentation, and today we are going to talk about the amazingly major Pokemon Go Ultra Unlock. So yesterday, the Ultra Unlock for the Pokemon Go Summer Travel event of this year was revealed, and interestingly enough, we got kind of a mixed reaction from the community, which I thought was quite peculiar. You know, this was not a video that I had planned on making, but, you know, we're in the lab today. We're going, as far as weather is concerned, we're kind of going through like the summer's over interlude type of weather where it's like raining every day and it's cooling down a bit, but you can't really go outside and play right now, so at least things are starting to cool down a bit so it won't be as hot and humid and disgusting every day. We're going into fall, and it's gonna be cool. But today we are here to talk about the Ultra Unlock rewards. So quickly, let's go over what the Ultra Unlock entails. Okay, so September 13th through 20th, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres raids are going to return, and their shiny forms are going to be available. So here's where I kind of do understand why people would be a little bit on edge about this particular unlock, because again, it is the same thing coming back into the raid system. You know, how many times have we experienced the legendary birds? At this point, if you haven't caught the legendary birds in Pokemon Go, I don't know what you're doing. Like, they have returned time and time again. They're available for a month each through research. They had individual days where you could go out and they were everywhere. You go and raid them for their shiny forms. So again, I don't have shiny Articuno though. For somehow, some way in Barcelona, I didn't get shiny Articuno. I did get shiny Zapdos, and I got 2 shiny Moltres. If you guys want to check those out, check my videos down on the channel. Again, I do understand where you guys are coming from when it comes to Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres Day. And again, I just want to clarify, I'm not talking about the majority of the community. I'm talking about kind of a split going on between how people feel about this Ultra Unlock. Many people feel as if it is just the same thing just given to us over and over and over again, which they do have a point, but this event and this Ultra Unlock in particular is special in its own way. In fact, it's very special in its own way. Things never before seen are happening in Pokemon Go for this Ultra Unlock. This Ultra Unlock is kind of over the top, but, you know, it is the same material. It is just Gen 1 material. So let's go ahead and break down what's happening with the 7-kilometer Alolan eggs, which is something that I really am confused about. So drop a comment below and let me know what you guys think about this. But Gen 1 regionals are coming in Alolan eggs, so you're going to be able to hatch Generation 1 regionals. That means Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, Mr. Mime, and Tauros are going to be available worldwide through Alolan 7-kilometer eggs. Now, I haven't seen any regionals hatched as of yet, so we don't know if it's just going to be Alolans mixed in with the regionals, or Alolan 7-kilometer eggs are just going to be hatching regional Pokemon. We don't know that exactly. I can imagine they'd be mixed in with the Alolan spawn, so you can, you know, get a bunch of Meowths and then you're lucky enough to get a Tauros. Now, when it comes to Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres returning to raids, a lot of you made some excellent points that I just want to point out. And the underlying question that was pretty consistent throughout the consensus was, why did I do this in the first place? Meaning, what was the point in participating in Articuno Day? What was the point of participating in Zapdos Day and Moltres Day? These shiny legendaries need to have a sense of accomplishment. And what I want to say to you guys is that, you know, no matter whether they're coming back or not, you still earned that shiny legendary Pokemon. You still participated in a special event that you were lucky enough to earn a shiny legendary Pokemon within a span of 3 hours. You know, you earned those legendaries that came out even in the beginning of the game when they were first released back in 2017. You know, we all earn those legendaries regardless of whether they return to the game or not. So don't feel as if, you know, your efforts for completing those legendary raids were in vain just because the legendaries return and more people have opportunities to obtain them. The fact of the matter is, you still came out and you still beat that legendary Pokemon and you still caught it. So So in my opinion, regardless of the fact that these legendaries coming back, the efforts that we put out to get these legendary Pokemon was never a waste of time. In fact, it kind of gives us an advantage because we don't really have to stress about getting shinies unless we missed one, which, I mean, I missed shiny Articuno, so I still have to try to get shiny Articuno somehow, because I'm not trading for it. It's not, to me, it's not worth the Stardust to trade. If I don't catch it within the next week, then GG. I'm not trading for shiny Articuno. It's not worth the dust for me. It barely looks any different from a regular one. But that's besides the point. But once again, to the many people upset about the hours of effort that they took driving to certain locations where a lot of gyms were around, organizing raid groups, helping people get the right counters for the legendaries, and going out and, you know, grinding out for 3 hours trying to get these legendary Pokemon. Your efforts are solidified, and those are your accomplishments. Those are still your legendaries that you earned. So you should, honestly, all of you guys, including myself, we should all feel proud and we should feel awesome about going out there and getting those legendary Pokemon, even though they are coming back for another week. But that just means that more people have an opportunity to get them, because no matter how many times these legendaries are going to come back, there's still always going to be people that don't have these Pokemon. And this also hints towards a very, very exciting thing happening later down the line in Pokemon Go. We're going to go over that later on in the video. But going into that, let's tackle the regionals being in 7-kilometer eggs. Now, this is kind of a touchy one for me in particular, and I'm sure for many others. So there's two different sides of this. You know, a lot of people are correct in saying that, you know, not everybody can go travel the world for these regional Pokemon, and this is a really good thing that people are going to be able to fill out their Generation 1 Pokedex. However, there are other people like myself that are on the other side of the fence that are saying, you know, you're kind of going against the integrity of the game by allowing all of the regional Pokemon, or at least all of the Kanto Gen 1 regional Pokemon, to be available to everyone, because what was the point of having regionals in the first place? Events like this defeat the purpose of having Pokemon that don't leave their registered regions, so you have to actually go out and explore the world and travel different countries and learn different cultures, perhaps learn different languages to catch these Pokemon. Part of the challenge of Pokemon Go is international travel, and I think it's a good thing. Personally, and it's not because I have traveled internationally. I feel like it's a good challenge for other people to try to get out there and see the world. And those of you that have been following this channel for quite some time now know that, you know, I have traveled to various Safari Zone events, and I have traveled to different countries. I've been on 2 international adventures, planning a 3rd, and planning a 4th. I have gone to various countries to capture regional Pokemon. I've done that. I've captured Mr. Mime, I've captured Heracross, I've captured Corsola in their natural areas, in their registered areas. I've gone to events, I've captured regionals from events. I've done the traveling to actually go out and catch rare regional Pokemon, and I understand that not everybody has the ability to do such a thing, but I do understand on the same token that this was the purpose of these Pokemon in the first place. You know, so it's kind of like, why did I go out and why did I go to Florida to catch Heracross and Corsola, you know? Why did I go to GoFest to catch Torkoal? Why did I go to Malaga, Spain to catch Tropius, you know? Why did I go to the Taiwanese Safari Zone to catch Mr. Mime? You know, it's kind of like, what was the point of everything that I've done? However, I'm totally cool with it. I have no complaints whatsoever. In fact, I am super happy that the whole world has the opportunity to fill the Kanto Pokedex and get these important regional Pokemon. But I do understand the point that people are making in saying that, you know, there is really no point if you're not going to honor the integrity and the purpose of regional Pokemon. You know, people have points on both sides of the spectrum here, and I want to make sure that everybody's point of view is honored in this argument. I guess it's kind of an argument, if you will. So to wrap up the regional conversation in Pokemon Go real quick, I think we can ask ourselves, if every single regional Pokemon is going to be available at some point, you know, what is the point of going to different countries and traveling to catch these different Pokemon if everybody's just going to be able to get them anyway? Which kind of brings us to the point of this video, which I think we have to ask ourselves as a Pokemon Go community, is anything really exclusive in this game? Because I feel like Pokemon Go is catering more towards the casual players and people that, you know, they take breaks and they skip certain dates and periods of the game. You know, players that aren't consistent with the gameplay and with the events of the game. Players that will go away for 5 months, 6 months, say, hey, I just picked up the game again. Meanwhile, so many people have, like myself, have been playing consistently and grinding the game out day in and day out, week after week, playing event after event, getting shinies, getting legendaries, you know, just grinding this process, this entity that is Pokemon Go. A lot of players like myself don't really appreciate the fact that Pokemon that had value at one point have no value now because they're just being released worldwide and they're letting everybody just be able to obtain them. You know, a couple of videos ago I said, you know, there's no way I see Niantic making the exclusive EX Raid Pokemon available to just everyone. Well, that's what they did. I want you to keep this in mind and ask yourself this question as a Pokemon Go player. Is anything really exclusive in Pokemon Go at this point? You know, is everything just gonna come back to the game at a certain point in time and maybe have it come back even better? You know, the legendaries have come back multiple times. The only legendaries that haven't returned are, what, Groudon and Rayquaza, I believe. I think those are like the only 2 legendaries that haven't come back. So eventually they're gonna come back too, and they're gonna come back and they're gonna be shiny. We're gonna be getting the same rehashed content time and time again, so is there really a rush to go get something the first time unless you want to have it on the first go and then you want to have it on the second go? It depends on your play style. So, let's talk about Mewtwo, the exclusive EX Raid Pokemon, being available worldwide for an entire month. Let's talk about that real quick. The exclusive EX Raid Pokemon is being released to the world as a level 5 raid boss on September 20th to October 23rd. Something that I never fathomed would be ever possible. But this is a big deal, and for many reasons. First off, I gotta say, I really don't know what you guys are talking about when it comes to, you know, the complaints and the negativity towards having Mewtwo available as a raid boss. First of all, you can never have enough Mewtwo. Just so you guys understand, Mewtwo is the number 2 top DPS Pokemon in the game. Okay, Mewtwo is the second best DPS Pokemon in the entire. It is one of the best Pokemon in Pokemon Go ever. Mewtwo will be viable in any situation, in any scenario, whether you're taking out a gym, whether it's a raid boss. Confusion and Shadow Ball is the number 2 top DPS Pokemon in the entire game. So again, Mewtwo is really good, and I am absolutely ecstatic. I am so stoked to get out there. I'm gonna do like 70 Mewtwo raids, guys. I'm not joking. I recently just poured a bunch of my rare candies into Mewtwo. Interestingly enough, I'm really glad I did that. So if I get myself a high IV Mewtwo, I can just go max out right away. Also, the EX raid system has like deprived me of a high IV Mewtwo. The best IV Mewtwo I have is a 91 with 14 attack, not even 15 attack, 14 attack. I believe it's 15 attack. I'm sorry, I'm getting things mixed up. But this is my best Mewtwo, 15 attack. It is a beast. It is a beast. I also have another Mewtwo with Focus Blast. Mewtwo with Focus Blast is an amazing ballistic counter, let me tell you. Now, I understand that it doesn't have stab, but here's the thing. Unlike Machamp, it doesn't take super effective damage to Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam knocks the hell out of Machamp very easily. Very easily. And we don't really have that same issue with Mewtwo. Mewtwo, you can use a couple Psycho Cuts, couple confusions, get that Focus Blast off, deal that super effective damage. Mewtwo lasts much longer than Machamp and still deals super effective damage. So if you're patient enough to deal with Blissey, Mewtwo is a fantastic counter. I absolutely am in love with Mewtwo against Blissey. I love the matchup of Mewtwo versus Blissey. I think it's amazing. Mewtwo with Focus Blast, mwah, love it. Absolutely love Mewtwo with Focus Blast. But that's besides the point. Let me roll back and let's talk about why people believe that Mewtwo being released worldwide for a month is a bad idea, which people had some extremely valid points. And I just want to bring a couple of these points up right now. So real quick, let's backtrack and let's go over the history of EX Raid. Let's go over a brief little history lesson, if you will. So EX Raid started around September, October of last year, right after the Pokemon Go Stadium event in Yokohama, the famous That's Not Fair Yokohama Mewtwo. We all know how that went down, right? Anyway, EX Raid started rolling out September, October, and they were extremely difficult to obtain. Nobody knew how to get a Mewtwo. It was basically a chance of luck. And then we later learned the EX Raid system was in a beta testing that whole time, and then slowly but surely people really started to get Mewtwo EX Raids. I mean, tons of people were getting EX Raids each and every single week. Some people would get, I once had 3 EX Raids at one time. I had 3 EX Raid packs. I had 3 of these. I had 3 of these bad boys at one time, once. Just lined up. I think I had to skip a couple of them. And in fact, I've been invited to some that have been in Texas, Indianapolis, places I've had to skip because of traveling and, you know. EX Raids became pretty easy to obtain later on in its life cycle. So I remember getting my very first EX Raid. I fell to the ground. Like, I was like, finally. And I've made countless videos. The EX Raid system had me enraged, like absolutely enraged. I made countless videos early in my YouTube career about how Niantic is being unfair with the EX Raid system, what they could do to improve it, you know, what's going on with EX Raids. I made a video on how to trigger an EX Raid gym. The EX Raid system drove me crazy. It literally drove me insane. I was so glad that the EX Raid system started to turn a new leaf and it's really started to turn around and people were actually able to get EX Raid gyms and be able to trigger EX Raid gyms. People could get Mewtwo's. I was happy. I was like, thank God, man, they're not gonna screw us over every week, right? So with that being said, people started to get a little used to Mewtwo, you know? You know, it's like, oh, well, this is my, like, 17th EX Raid pass, I'll skip it. Or, oh, I overslept, I missed my EX Raid. Well, oh, well, that's my 15th EX Raid, I'll skip it. You know, that started to happen, and Mewtwo kind of lost its value within the community. No matter how rare and exclusive something may be at some point, once you start to oversaturate it, it loses its value. And it's just a regular Pokemon. In fact, a lot of people have said, you know, Mewtwo, is this old news? It's just a regular Pokemon, which it is not. Let me tell you right now, it is not just a regular Pokemon. That Mewtwo is a freaking beast, okay? But in terms of value, in terms of importance, yes, it kind of has been downgraded to that regular Pokemon scale. In fact, a lot of people have been saying mythical Pokemon are more valuable, even though Mewtwo is more powerful than Mew and Celebi combined, but that's besides the point. And what this hints towards as well, is not only Mewtwo leaving the EX Raid system, but another Pokemon replacing it. Hint, hint, potentially Deoxys, which would absolutely knock my socks off. I will take my socks off on camera if Deoxys gets announced in Pokemon Go. So there's that, but it kind of negates the amount of effort that people have put towards earning EX Raid system, especially rural players in communities that don't have a lot of Pokestops, that don't have a lot of gyms, that don't have a lot of spawn points, in areas where it's seemingly impossible to trigger an EX Raid. People have done it. People have used the S2 cell quadrant systematic formula, and they have created Mewtwo EX raid gyms for themselves. People have done it, and it's been an amazing effort of the community to go out and, you know, to band together as a community, as a group of Pokemon trainers, and work together to unlock Mewtwo, to find the secret, to find that sweet spot to trigger an EX raid. And so many communities have done it, and so many people are absolutely loving it, the fact that Mewtwo will be available to everyone finally. This is kind of like, depending on how you look at it, it really all depends on the lens that you're viewing this Ultra Unlock from. Are you viewing it from the lens of, this is just the same old thing over and over again, and I want something new, which to me this kind of is something new, because think about it, you really only get to battle Mewtwo once every 2 weeks, once every week, depending on your community and how often you raid. And you get one raid and that's it, and then you go back to the regular legendaries. This time, you get to battle Mewtwo all day long. I get to go out and do Mewtwo raids. The most powerful, alright, besides Rayquaza, the most powerful top DPS Pokemon in the game, and I get to go and I get to dominate it all day long. And I finally have an opportunity to get myself a 100% Mewtwo. And if I get 100% Mewtwo, which I am due for another 100% Legendary, alright? That 100% Lugia months ago ran for me. The only hundo I ever saw. Alright, I need a hundo. Alright, I need a hundo Legendary. So, let's get it. Let me finish off this topic by saying, it really all depends on the lens that you see it. If you see it as casual players getting Pokemon that really they shouldn't have, or if you see it as things that aren't new, that are being, you know, represented into the game over and over again, then you're gonna have a negative outlook on the event, and you're gonna hate it. Personally, I'm neutral towards the event, but I'm leaning towards I'm loving it because of Mewtwo, and I just love Mewtwo. I don't know why. I guess I have a thing for it. I don't know. How do you feel in the comments? First of all, don't forget to type a comment below and let me know how you feel about the Ultra Unlock yourself, because I want to know how you guys feel as the community, and I really appreciate all the points you guys made on social media. Let's continue to talk, let's continue the conversation about Pokemon Go, because we are definitely hinting towards Gen 4 with this announcement, and I really feel like this game is going to turn it up into another level when we get Gen 4, because now we're definitely done with Gen 1. We're wrapping up Gen 1, we wrapped up Gen 2, we still got to get Smeargle. I don't know where Smeargle's at, man. I don't, that's something I'll never understand, but again, we're wrapping up Gen 1, we wrapped up Gen 2, we got to wrap up Gen 3, we got to get a lot more Pokemon in Gen 3, so hopefully that comes out soon. And, you know, get ready for Gen 4. So again, this is one of the major precursors to Gen 4. There's no denying it at this point. Pokemon Go has hinted it out, saying a lot more Pokemon are out there yet to be discovered, which that is true. There's like 5 more generations left to go for Pokemon in this game. So again, we have a lot to look forward to, and this is, think of this as maybe it's a break for some of you. Maybe it's some time off, some time off from the grind, which is always good, because once the new generations come out, it's gonna be crazy, like, once again for all you guys. And let me know, what does this game condition you for right now? So do you condition this event as a break? Do you feel as if this is the time to totally grind and get as many Mewtwo's as possible? I'll tell you right now, man, just get the Mewtwo's while they're hot. This is an amazing opportunity. Mewtwo is one of the best Pokemon in the game, if not the best. It's the best psychic attacker, one of the best Pokemon in terms of DPS in the game. It is a powerhouse. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing Pokemon. Go get them while they're hot, guys. That's how I feel about it. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this. And I'm gonna end my little rant, whatever I'm talking about here. Not too excited about the Legendary Birds. Regionals, I think it's amazing that people are going to be able to get regional Pokemon, although that does defeat the purpose of regional Pokemon, and I will say that. And Mewtwo, well, you know, get them while they're hot, guys. This thing used to be exclusive as hell, alright? Get them while they're hot. It's Mewtwo. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll be back out on the streets for some more Pokemon Go adventures.